Alright, hey guys, what's up? My name is T-Space, and welcome back to another episode of Back to School Sniping. So, this is going to be a live gameplay commentary. I have never done one of these for the series, I should say. So this is going to be interesting. Today, I'm going to be talking about accuracy. That is why we are here in the testing range. And overall, I have a couple of tips for you guys to hopefully increase your accuracy. Well, at least it worked for me, and I hope it does work for you. Nonetheless, before I get into the actual drills that I used to do, let me quickly give you a small tip that I did when I was trying to find my mouse sensitivity. So for one, this is not a perfect way to pinpoint your mouse sensitivity. There are plenty of videos out there that are probably a lot better than this tip that I'm going to give you. But nonetheless, this is exactly what I did, mainly because I'm a little lazy, and I'm just lazy. So for one, pick a target. I'm going to pick this target for my example. And what I want you to do is I want you to select a point on the target that you want to aim at. So for the purpose of this video, let's just aim right here at his face. Now I'm going to aim off of the target. Doesn't really matter where, but I'm just going to aim off the target. And what my goal is, from this position that I'm at right now, I want to drag or move my crosshairs and then try to get right back on target with one fell swoop. No correction is needed in this display, mainly because if you correct your shot more than once, it'll give you the wrong kind of data. So back and forth, 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 back and forth. Now, there are certain times when I kind of aimed a little lower, aimed a little higher. This kind of indicates whether or not your sensitivity is either too high or too low. So if you aim in this general direction or over here, something like that, that means it's too high and you need to lower it a little bit. And if you aim it a little too low, that means you need to increase your sensitivity. Now, for, I guess, references, my sensitivity is 9, which could be considered low or high, and then my DPI on my mouse is set at 100, or no, 1000, or 1100, there we go, I can speak. So, with that out of the way, that's pretty much how I figured out my perfect mouse sensitivity, and yeah. So going on to the drills that I did before I usually played a game. I use these 6 targets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd use these 6 targets because I felt that this was a pretty good distance away from, or pretty good range that I usually fight in. About 50 meters is pretty far when it comes down to looking at 50 meters. But anyhow, so what I would do was I would try to hit all 6 of these targets in concession, or in a fast manner. God, I can't speak today. So hopefully I don't miss any of these targets, because if I miss any of these targets, I would just look like a scrub, and then you'd be like, why am I sub to this guy? This T-Space guy just doesn't... Oh, you see, there you go again, I missed my shot. Well, let's just say for the purpose of this video, I got the shot, okay? So, nonetheless, I would go through all 6 of these targets. I'd keep on, hitting them in the face over and over and over again. And more or less, what this would do, it would actually increase my accuracy, just in speed alone. This wasn't meant, or this drill wasn't meant to be precision accurate. This is more or less for speed. Now, this precision accuracy I worked on for this drill was as such. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do this in a tutorial, but more or less I'm aiming at lines. They're lines, okay? So I pretty much line myself up with the lines. And overall, in this part of the drill, you want to take it extremely slow. Mainly because if you're aiming like this, you're gonna miss. As you can see, I purposely try to aim off of it, but even if you're that close, you're gonna miss the target. So you gotta take your time when it comes down to shooting these line targets. And overall, what this is gonna teach you, it's gonna teach you how to precisely aim for those shots that aren't really moving. They're gonna happen a lot. I'm pretty sure you've seen them in my videos, and overall, they frustrate me. They frustrate me a lot, mainly because they're easy shots and I underestimate them, and overall I miss the shot and I just get really upset. Now, after I shoot all 6 of these targets sideways, I go back to the normal facing way and I try to do it all over again. As you can see from the line demonstration, these targets are ridiculously big. So it's really hard after doing this drill a lot to miss this kind of a shot, mainly because the hitbox is ridiculously big. It's just so big. So it's hard for you to actually miss these shots. or not get the headshot, I should say. One tip that I have to say when it comes down to aiming perfectly is aiming at head height. Aiming at head height will more or less allow you to pre-aim before you even scope in. It'll make it a lot easier for you to correct your shots. I have to say, a lot of Battlefielders do this. And if you are one of these people, then you need to stop doing this. If you're running like this, you should never do this. It is really bad. You want to know why? Because let's say these two targets are in front of me. I zoom in, I'm at their feet. I have to correct my aim in order to hit them in the face. If, for an example, I wasn't running like that, if I was running the way you should be running like this, as I'm running, oh, I see a guy in front of me, aimed, dead. Instantly, no correction or anything like that. I maybe had, a couple of like maybe just like a centimeter or so, but it's not like as drastic as if you're aiming at the ground, zooming in, and then trying to hit him in the face. So things like that are kind of habits that you guys need to break if you are doing such. So my tip for you when it comes down to aiming for head height, if you do not have the laser sight, which is a huge help in my eyes for judging whether or not you're aiming at head height, is if you're aiming or if you're trying to aim at head height and you feel awkward like doing such, then you're doing a good job. If it feels awkward aiming like this, then you're doing a good job. If it doesn't feel awkward, then you're probably not aiming high enough. Now, one thing that some people have been asking me is when I should hold my breath. Now, this is, I have to say, a pretty good question, mainly because there are certain situations when you should hold your breath and when you shouldn't hold your breath. Now, let me explain to you what holding your breath does. Holding your breath doesn't make your gun more accurate. It makes you more accurate. So think of it this way. Your gun has a fixed accuracy. Depending on where you are aiming is where your gun's probably going to shoot. Without compensating for bullet drop and whatnot. But let me quickly display what I mean by that. So I'm going to try to shoot this target who is 104 meters away. Hopefully you guys can see that on the video. But I'm just going to try to counteract the scope sway, and I'll get a headshot. Right there, I did not use the hold breath function. And overall, I got a headshot. So just to prove to you guys that I got a headshot, I'm just going to run over here. And, well, let me just shoot this guy so it'll actually pop back up. But nonetheless, you don't necessarily need to use the hold breath function if you can counteract the scope sway. Now, is it viable for you to do that for long range targets? Hell no. That's stupid. You should never do that. If it's a long range target like that and you need to hold your breath, by all means, hold your breath. But with that in mind, close range targets such as maybe 50 meters away, there's really no need for you to hold your breath. Mainly because it's probably not going to affect you too much, mainly because they're closer, and overall the targets to hit are a lot easier to hit. Now, for your homework, what I want you to do is I want you to go through this drill by shooting all 6 of these targets in the head while they are facing you, and then do the vice versa, which is shooting them in lines. But keep in mind, when you go back and forth, when you're shooting targets that are facing at you like this, you want to try to work on your speed. But when you're trying to shoot the targets at a side, like this, you want to work on your accuracy. So you want to slow it down when you want to shoot these targets. So I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode. It might have felt a little lackluster, but overall, I have to say, if you did this drill for maybe about 10 to 15 minutes before you played a game, I'm guaranteeing you that you'll see an increase in your accuracy. And overall, you'll notice that, man, these are actually really easy shots. So I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode of Back to School Sniping. But like always, my name is T-Space, and I will catch you guys later. Next week, we're going to be talking about strafing.